no-deal Brexit. Health Secretary Matt Hancock said Ireland could suffer from drug shortages. Getty Images. The European Union has warned it will impose the stricter regulations it applies to imports and exports from other third countries if Britain leaves without a deal. But Mr Hancock said such a move would disrupt drug supplies to EU members, with the Republic of Ireland particularly at risk. Taking calls on an LBC phone-in this morning, Mr Hancock said most medicines bound for Ireland pass through the UK on the way to the destination. There are more drugs that flow from us to them. Matt HancockHe said, there are more drugs that flow from us to them. You would have thought that nobody on the other side would have wanted to have a blockage. Most of the Republic of Ireland's drugs come through the same route as they come to the UK, so if there were a blockage, the blockage would not only be stopping drugs from going from the UK to France and the rest of Europe, as well as obviously to the UK, but also the drugs supply to Ireland. The UK has said it will not impose any extra controls or checks on medicines coming from the EU in the event of no deal. But the EU insists it would be forced to treat the UK like any other non-member to maintain the integrity of its single market and customs union. Mr Hancock said any blockage of medicines would impact EU members as well as the UK. Getty Images. Health bosses have warned that extra checks and rules imposed in a no-deal Brexit could see drug shipments delayed, which may lead to shortages. Mr Hancock's warning to EU members comes as Theresa May scrambles to secure concessions to her unpopular divorce deal. To avoid a hard Brexit on March 29, Irish Taoiseach Leo Varadkar said today that Dublin is willing to offer further assurances to help Mrs May secure parliamentary approval for her deal, but he insisted he would not budge on his demands for a backstop to avoid the re-emergence of a hard border between Northern Ireland and the Republic. NHS bosses have warned extra border checks could cause delays and shortages. Getty Images. He said, we are happy to offer further clarifications and further assurances if that can help the UK government to get the agreement over the line, but from day one we have been very straight about a few things. Among those has been that Brexit cannot mean under any circumstances the emergence of a hard border between Ireland and Northern Ireland. Britain has been seeking legally binding assurances from the EU to allay the fears of MPs who are concerned the backstop could see the UK trapped in a customs union with the bloc for years to come. But as Attorney General Geoffrey Cox prepares to return to Brussels for further talks, the Daily Telegraph reported he has abandoned attempts to secure a unilateral exit for the UK or a time limit.